He kōna I purangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
Kia rangatira, no maira, and welcome to News to Me. I'm Izzy. I hope you're holding on to something because we have a lot going on today. Two big wins in women's sport this week have given New Zealand bragging rights over Australia. The Black Ferns got their Women's Rugby World Cup campaign off to a great start on Saturday, coming from behind to beat Australia 41 points to 17 at Eden Park in front of a record crowd. They play Wales next at Waitakere Stadium in West Auckland. The Silver Ferns beat the world #1 netball team 56-48 in the first test of the Constellation Cup. It was shooter Grace Nowicki's first full game against Australia, shooting 40 goals from 42 attempts. Ngā wahine toa. People who live and work around the North Island ski fields are worried for the area's future. Pandemic closures and poor weather conditions have prompted the company running the Ruapehu ski fields to ask for help to save their business. Hundreds of people's jobs rely on visitors to Whakapapa and Tūroa. The company has been trying to raise money from investors and the government to carry on operating. Bronson Price, or you may know him as Mellow Downs, has just dropped his first album. How exciting! The West Auckland local has been making music for almost 10 years, but this will be his first album titled Lone Wolf. He says it's a collection of work he has gathered over the last 3 years, and the new single, Pray for More, features the Avondale Intermediate Choir, which he was once part of. How cool! Russia has unleashed its biggest attacks in Ukraine in months after claiming Ukraine had launched a terrorist attack on a bridge. A barrage of missiles hit cities across Ukraine, including the capital Kyiv. The attacks killed at least 14 people, injured dozens more, and destroyed buildings. Air raid sirens sounded across Ukraine for 4 hours, and children have switched to online learning while schools remained closed. People took to singing in the metro to raise morale. Visitors have been flocking to Wellington Zoo to see 4 sets of lemur twins born this year. For some of the residents, it was just another day, but the 8 ring-tailed lemur babies are great news for the endangered species. How cute! Wellington Zoo runs a breeding program and is celebrating its success. Ben Bell has become the youngest mayor in New Zealand history. The 23-year-old won the South Island district of Gore by just 8 votes. He says his win hasn't sunk in, but it's very exciting. Elsewhere, there were shifts in mayors and councillors across the country. Tory Whānau is the new mayor of Wellington, and in Auckland, Wayne Brown will take over from Phil Goff. Of the hundreds of people around the Motu running for mayor, only one person was successful in each region. That's a lot of disappointed people. Have you ever thought about disappointment? What is it exactly, and how should we deal with it? Luckily, we've thought about it and have made this great explainer to help.
We're looking at a big feeling today, my friends. Disappointment.
What is it and what impact does it have on you?
You know, I'm waiting for someone. Oh, well, that's disappointment.
Just kidding, I'm here. Disappointment is the emotional response you feel when something doesn't go the way you hoped it would.
Ah, so when I did a big awesome intro for you and you didn't appear...
Yep, that's the one.
Oh.
It could be losing a sports game, not getting the part in your school play, or when your plans have to be cancelled.
Disappointment is often characterised by feelings of sadness, loss, sometimes even anger or frustration.
It's a feeling that you will likely experience many times in life, and unfortunately, it's not a very fun one. But it's a feeling for a reason.
Although disappointment is unpleasant, it actually plays a big role in your development.
As you learn that things won't always go your way, it prepares you for challenges that you'll face throughout life. The challenge of overcoming disappointment.
It can inspire you to chase better outcomes. And when you eventually succeed in what you're hoping to achieve, it shows what you're capable of.
Learning to deal with disappointment is a super important life skill, and we have tips on how to do that.
Firstly, it's okay to feel bad, so be kind to yourself, and if you need to, take time to experience the emotion.
Once you've had time to process, it's time to move on. Try not to dwell on what could have been and learn from your experience.
And when you're ready, talk to someone you trust about what you're feeling.
Striving for what you want, seeking out new opportunities and chasing new experiences is all part of the journey, and unfortunately, so is disappointment.
But don't let it stop you.
Oh, no.
When you fail, it only shows that you tried. And when you dust yourself off and try again, that builds resilience, which is a key part of your development.
Resilience is the ability to adapt to new and challenging situations. It means bouncing back from situations and perhaps trying them another way.
You'll change the world with your successes. And when you overcome the disappointment you experience, your victory will be so sweet. I'm Evie York, and this episode was made by TVNZ and RNZ and is public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air. You or your parents can follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, or just about any podcast app. Plus, you can watch News to Me on TV2 on Friday afternoons, catch it on demand, or listen to it just before the 7 o'clock news on Saturday mornings on RNZ National.